Friends, we are at Al Musanna Barcelo Resort in Oman for the World Sailing Inclusive Championship, and we have a very interesting gentleman to meet here. Meet Justin, who's on this SUV of a wheelchair, a sailor of bigger boats from his earlier days, and last year he had an accident. I'll request Justin to tell us about the accident and how he has responded to life post that accident. Justin, please tell us.
Sure. Well, what happened to me, let's start to keep it short, is that I was hit by a car twice. And from that, I don't call it an accident, I call it an injury. Because, as I'm about to explain, it was very clearly the other person's fault. It's not accident where there was, it just happened. What happened to me, I was cycling to my gym at 8 o'clock on a Saturday morning in January in London. So dark, cold weekend. I was cycling to the gym. The other gentleman was traveling in a BMW at 60 miles per hour in a 20-mile road, and he was coming back from a nightclub that he had been at the night before. We can't legally say he was drunk because he refused to give a test, which is his legal right. However, we have CCTV of him staggering out of the nightclub. They found a bottle of vodka in the chair behind the driver's seat, and he attempted to convince the police that he hadn't been in a road traffic collision, even though there was a Justin-sized hole in his car. Take from that what you will. So I was cycling to the gym. He was coming at 60 miles an hour in the other direction. I was following a van, and the van turned off to go into a parking lot. And instead of this person coming to a stop because the van was crossing his lane, he instead decided to go round the back of the van at speed. He crashed straight into me. I hit his windscreen, causing a Justin-sized hole, and then was catapulted over his car, and I was about 10 feet, 3 meters behind the car, lying down. At that point in time, his passenger opened up the door and fled. And this person thought that that would be a very good idea to do. However, he couldn't go forward because all the cars behind me had stopped when he had hit me. He couldn't go left or right because there was simply no room on the road. So the only option for him to do was to reverse over me, all four wheels. From those injuries, or from those collisions, I've received multiple fractures at sea level. I have a brachial plexus injury, which affects the right arm, and I'm a T3 complete spinal injury because the car basically spun my spine in a circle and severed it at that point. The gentleman, well, let's still call him that for politeness sake, did go to prison. Not an impressively long sentence. He was out of prison before I was out of hospital. But at the end of the day, I don't really care what happens to his prison sentence. He gets 4 months or 40 years. The same things happen to me. My focus is on my rehabilitation, of which sailing is a part. And it's one of those ideas of you just wake up in the morning and you try and figure out how can you push the needle forward. Or to use a sailing analogy, sailboats don't sail backwards, they can only sail forward. So let's see what we can do to keep going forward.
Justin, as part of your rehabilitation, what does sailing do for you? A normal person finds it difficult to invest money and time into sailing. Here you are with this physical disability, yet you choose to go do an interesting sport like sailing, which even able-bodied would stretch himself to do.
Indeed. Well, sailing was a big part of my life before my injury. When a year after my injury, when I re-engaged with social media and the wider world, I said I'm here, I'm still alive, I I still intend to live my life to the full. And one of my good friends is Hannah Stodel, who is the para-manager for World Sailing. And Hannah went, yes, you are now disabled. We are getting you back in a boat. And by the way, the World Championships are in October, so get ready. And that's what I did. And via the encouragement of some, and also being able to meet the sailability teams that are provided or work with the RYA, I've been able to re-engage with sailing. And yes, it's more of a challenge in some respects, but I don't shy away from the challenge. And it takes more time now than it used to. Possibly takes more money now than it used to, but I've set my mind on going, I would like to re-engage with as much of the things that I used to do pre-injury as I can now, and that's what I do.
Justin, we don't see anybody with you helping you out. You seem to be independent in your motorized wheelchair and other activities have you learned to manage everything by yourself?
Absolutely not. I have a full-time care team. They're just fairly unobtrusive. So when I need them, I call for them, and when I don't need them, so when I'm just moving around in a wheelchair, I tell my care team that they are on standby time instead. But if you do keep an eye on me when I have to disconnect the wheelchair or try and get out of the wheelchair, I cannot do that independently. I do need help. I do bring help with me and just keep them rather unobtrusive.
Also, an interesting part is Justin was a solicitor in law in the UK and is hoping to get back to that profession in due course of time. Is that correct?
That's correct. Being a solicitor, it's not exactly a physical job. It's much more a mental job. I still have all my faculties with me. So at the moment, my job is 24/7 rehab, and I do as much rehab as I can, and as long as the rehab is still progressing for me, and I'm still showing improvements, that's my 24/7 job. Once the improvements plateau, and I can no longer improve, I will reopen my focus to engaging in my profession and seeing how I can work as a solicitor again.
Well, friends, Justin re-emphasizes the adage that I stopped complaining about my shoe when I saw a person without a leg itself. Thank you very much, Justin, and all the best in this journey.
Good to see you. Thank you.
Rewind.